Hi, lovelies. Welcome to Stuck Between the Covers, the coziest little corner of the internet where books and bestie vibes collide. I'm Landry, and the only thing I love more than reading is sharing it with listeners like you. Every episode is like a virtual bookish sleepover. Think fuzzy blankets, late night giggles and gossip, and totally unhinged fangirling over our favorite reads. So grab your snacks, fluff your pillows, and get comfy because it is time to get stuck. Between the covers, of course. Hi everybody, how are you? Oh my goodness, I missed you so much. If you are watching the YouTube video, obviously, like, this is not fashion show vibes whatsoever, but I was like, I just want to, like, talk to the girlies, fill them in. It's been a hot freaking minute since I've recorded a podcast episode, and I've wanted to for a really long time, and finally today, I was like, you know what? Like, screw it. We're just gonna do it. We are. So, here's my little setup. Pretty similar as last time. This is my little microphone. It actually works way better than I thought. I've had it for a long time, but I'm actually so impressed with both the camera and audio quality of this podcast. If you're not, I'm sorry, but honestly, I'm like really impressed with myself, not even gonna lie. So we're gonna celebrate that little win. I have my little water cup with me. I'm actually so excited. It says my weekend is all booked. I'm showing the camera. I just love when like I have all kinds of reader merch and stuff because, you know, books are my whole personality, in case you can't tell. Anyways, there is a lot I want to talk to you guys about today. Honestly, this is just going to be like a total catch-up of all kinds of things and random thoughts. For starters, like, I have literally been off of Bookstagram. Not like completely off, but like not active for so long, like 2 to 3 months. It's actually been insane. I was in a slump all for the beginning of this year, and I've wanted nothing more than to get back and being involved. Like, I am happy when I am posting, but life has just gotten so busy, and it was just so difficult to like get up, make reels, and I like to batch my content. I love it. I make reel ideas all throughout the week, and then like Saturday I just film a bunch and then I go through and edit all of them. I also actually really like editing. It's something I enjoy. I love seeing the reel process come together, and that's why I love Bookstagram so much, because yes, it's reading, but it's also like all that video creation and all the behind the scenes work that I absolutely adore. So that's just a little fun fact about me there. But I've literally been off of it for so long, and it has been absolutely heartbreaking, but I'm like ready to like dive back in. And what better way to do that than with a podcast episode? I already have some plans for some future podcast episodes that I'm really excited about. Don't know how I'm gonna fit a guest in here. We shall cross that bridge when we come to it though. So yeah, that's a little sneak peek into some of those future plans. I might have to call in a second book bestie to come in and host with us. So anyways, in the vein of getting back into Bookstagram and hopefully trying to break that reading slump once and for all, I'm typically a super fast reader, and like, sorry, I hate the way that I just said that. I'm like a super fast reader. I didn't mean it like that, but I'm used to like going through books pretty quickly. So this reading slump thing has been killing me, okay? Like, devastated. So we're gonna try to get back in the swing of things. I've been reading so much just like contemporary romance for a long time, which like I love it, but I'm starting to get a little bit bored. So I'm definitely ready to dive back into that fantasy. I've actually been really wanting to read a lot more YA fantasy recently, because I've been reading so much contemporary romance. I feel like YA fantasy was like my origin, and I need to go back and reconnect with everything that started my love for books. So really excited to go back and do that. And moving on to getting back into the groove of things, summer is here. That means I have a lot more free time than usual, and I have racked up quite the hefty summer TBR. I can tell you right now, June is almost over. Not all of these books are getting read. There is not a chance at all. But I did want to walk you through what some of them are. So quick extra little life update. Something super cool happened in May. One of my favorite book festivals is YALLWEST. And I say that like I go all the time. This was technically my first year at the festival, but I did go to Fierce Friday, which is like their preview event last year. I got to go as a teen press liaison. Is that how they say it? Liaison? I've been saying liaison. I know that's not how you say it. I don't want to sound uneducated, but like, I'm doing my best over here, people. I don't know how to say it. I'm so sorry, but I do know how to spell it. Liasion. So yeah, just like fun little spelling and grammar lesson with your girl over here. But anyway, I got to go, and it was honestly one of the most incredible experiences ever. Unfortunately, I got sick right before the festival, and I literally lost my voice. I felt so bad. I was like trying to interview authors, and I was like, so that's a horrible impression. I felt like they could barely hear me. Like, I was screaming, and like, it was just bad. It really was. And I feel horrible, but I'm so ready to take it on again next year. It was so exciting. The YALLWEST team is incredible. If you are located on the West Coast, I highly recommend coming out to the YALLWEST Festival. It is one of the coolest book festivals ever. We are so lucky to have it so close, and I honestly am already looking forward to it for many, like all of the years to come. It was such an incredible way to connect with other readers and meet and interview authors, which again, I'm still in shock that I was even given the opportunity to attend as press in any way, shape, or form and get to sit down with such incredible people. But also, they have the coolest giveaways there, and your girl brought home some ARCs, and those are all on the summer TBR. So I'm actually going to tell you a little bit about which ARCs I was able to bring home. Okay, so there were a lot of publisher events, and they'll give out different ARCs of their upcoming books as you go. So one of the events that me and my friend Amanda at Bookishly Amanda on Instagram went to is the Underlined Book Bouquet making event. So we all got to take 3 ARCs. These were the ARCs that I got. So the first ARC I got was Bones at the Crossroads by Ladarian Williams. Now, I was just told it was a fantasy book, so I picked it up. I was like, yes, fantasy is in my genre. I got to meet the author, super cool guy, signed and personalized the books for me. What I didn't realize though is Bones at the Crossroads is actually the second in a series. It's the Blood at the Root series. I have not read that series. I probably won't get to it this summer, but at least now it's like it's on my radar, and I think anytime you're given the opportunity to meet an author or get an arc of a book, like that makes it extra special. So I do definitely want to look into that and give it like a very fair chance of reading it sometime in the near future, but we will just have to see how that goes. The next book that I got is The Education of Kia Greer by Alana Bennett. That book came out later in May, so it should be released out into the world by now. The cover is beautiful. It's like pink and like teal. I love it so much. But it's basically a little bit more of a YA, kind of like contemporary. Definitely, it has a romance subplot, which is nice, but it's not the main focus. So all of these books I noticed are kind of pushing my comfort zone just a tiny bit, but like that's good, you know, that's growth, right? And then these next couple arcs are all very, very me arcs. I got Cool as the Light by Sophie Clark, which is also already out there and released, and I've already seen people out there reading it, so I'm really interested to see like what people are thinking and if they're liking it or not. I haven't heard too much like positive or negative reviews or anything. I've just seen people talking about it, but I have it. I'm excited. It's total romantasy. It's honestly giving me a little bit of like the Cruel Prince vibes, which just based on the cover, which if you're watching the YouTube video, I'll have to put the cover up so you can see what I'm talking about. But like, I haven't read anything about the description, so I can't judge it on that front. But like, the cover gives such like Carden and Jude to me, at least if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah. And next, and this was the arc I was the most excited about going into YALLWEST, was Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. And it is also one of my current reads, so I want to talk to you a little bit about that. I was very, very excited about getting it. It's about 6 teens, so already I was sensing like, ooh, is there going to be like a found family? Like, I love my large cast of characters, and they're in the afterlife, which I think is so cool. And they're in like this school for the afterlife, and basically every like, I want to say it's like 10 years, there's a competition, and you can like move on into the next, they call it like the other side or whatever. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. I'm like butchering this description. It's good. It sounds good. They can do that, or they can like move up like prestigiously in like the school order. It's a whole thing. Anyways, I did say it was my current read. I wish I was like inhaling it a little bit more. I haven't felt like super motivated to go back to it, which is unfortunate, especially since it was one of my like super anticipated reads of the year. I've been so excited about it. The only thing is I just feel like, and this is funny because I had kind of looked into this and I had heard about this, but when you start writing a book, it is very important where you start it, right? Because that first chapter, it sets the scene of everything, right? And I had heard someone say, like, you don't want to start it too early because then it gets boring, but you don't want to start too late because then your reader feels very cut off from the characters. And I feel like I'm kind of experiencing that right now. Like, I very much love the idea and the intention. My only thing is I feel like we're missing some of the background. Now, obviously, I'm sure if I kept reading, like, I don't know if that would feel more intentional or kind of start to go away, but I just feel like there's supposed to be like an enemies to lovers element, but I feel like we're kind of starting in the middle of it. Like, they very much used to be enemies, it sounds like, but it kind of feels like they're already starting to move past that point. And as someone who loves like that, you know, the enemies part of the enemies to lovers and getting to see the transition and the build up, like, that is falling a little bit flat for me. And all of these characters, like, they just seem like they really have already established their relationships with each other, and I just feel like a little bit like bummed to have like missed out on all the fun part of it, you know? I just feel like out of the know and out of the loop with it. But otherwise, I do want to keep reading it. It comes out in July, so my goal is to have it finished before the actual published date. I love Ivy Marie. She seems super cool, super sweet. I literally could not be happier for her. So I'm really excited to finish it and just kind of see how it goes. But I think I'm going to have to make myself sit down and read it rather than like really want to and accidentally just like finish it in a night, you know? The next arc I have, and this is the one that I find people are like most excited to hear about, is Coldwire by Chloe Gong. It was the first stop Amanda and I made when the gates opened, was to go and grab Coldwire. It's beautiful. I love it. And I'm so excited. And then we got to see Chloe Gong go talk on a panel. That was freaking awesome. She's hilarious, one, but also just, I love like everything about her, getting to have books signed by her. And then Amanda got to interview her and I got to like watch, and it was just like, wow, like I love the way she carries herself. She's incredible, genuinely. I'm so excited to read it. I have a bunch of other books by her, which we will move on to in a second, but I'm so excited. I've just been waiting for like a good time for me to really like absorb it. Like I kind of wanted to get like back into the swing of things before starting it, because I feel like it's gonna be a book that just immediately like hooks me in, and I really just want to give it like my full attention, you know? I don't want to rob myself of like a really cool experience because I'm still kind of holding on to my slump a little bit. So I'm just trying to like get back in the routine, and then I'm ready to hit it hard with Coldwire. And then moving on, like I said, I have a few of her other books. Of course, in preparation for YALLWEST, I had purchased a couple books of authors who were going to be there already. So I got Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. I just know that series is going to be 110% up my alley. That actually should be one of my next reads. I'm really, really excited. And then I purchased The Shadows Between Us as well as The Darkness Within Us by Trisha Levenseller. I got both of those signed. And then I got like one of every book Chloe Gong has ever written. I got These Violent Delights, Foul Lady Fortune, and Immortal Longings, which are the first books in all three of her current series. I'm really excited to read all of them. I know this is my confession. I feel bad. I'm telling people, I'm like, I got an arc of Coldwire, and I haven't read Chloe Gong yet, and I feel horrible because that's actually one of my biggest pet peeves, but genuinely when I say I'm so excited to start, and I'm genuinely like very confident that I'm going to love her books. I already, like I said, I'm obsessed with her as an author. Like, I just meeting her, like, she would sign the books, and then she drew like pictures in them. She drew like little stars and like a cat. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm in love. I can't wait to completely become like a Chloe Gong #1 fan, by the way. Like, I'm so ready, okay? Chloe Gong #1 fans, be ready to welcome me into your committee because we are gonna have so much fun together. I can already tell. So I got all of those. I was, again, unable to read them. Like I said, I'd kind of gotten into a book slump, and this is just such a horrible time to be in a book slump, but I mean, I can't control when the slump happens, but I would like to be able to get through most of those books that I already have purchased this summer. So if you know anything about those books or you really like them, like, please give me the motivation, tell me about them. I'm already pretty highly motivated to read all of them, but I would love to hear your thoughts if you have them. And finally, one of my goals was to finish the Throne of Glass series this summer. Last summer I read ACOTAR, and I read it in like a week and a half because I was able to just like sit down and like crank out all the books. It has not been the same with Throne of Glass. I'm very sad to admit. I know a lot of people say that is Sarah J. Maas's best series, and I wholeheartedly believe them. I have read Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and I'm in the middle of The Assassin's Blade, and I started them back in like October. It's June, okay? And honestly, I don't know what happened. I think part of it is just I was not ready to commit to such a big series. I'm very confident in whether it's movies, books, or anything. The first time you read or watch something, I feel like it should be in the order they were released, right? Because if the author who is writing these characters and knows these characters better than anyone is giving you the books in that order, I'm assuming that there's a reason for that, you know? You are given the information as you need it, you know? If she didn't write that book to be released first, it's because she didn't want you to read it first. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start with Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, then Assassin's Blade, then Heir of Fire, because I looked and her website was like, that's my recommended reading order. I was like, cool, you're the boss here. That's fine with me. However, I'm kind of regretting that decision because the Assassin's Blade is kind of boring to me. Yeah, so that's a little bit unfortunate. I think my goal at this point is just to finish the Assassin's Blade, and then if I can, do a reread of Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight just to refresh, and then try to like literally, because I'm someone who like I need to read a series all at once, back to back to back, and that is like that makes my experience more enjoyable. So my goal is to find a time to do that. I don't think it's gonna happen this summer though. The motivation to read them and to commit to that, it just hasn't been there, and I don't want to force myself to do it because that's honestly just going to make everything less fun and exciting, and I'm not gonna do that to myself. Reading is supposed to be fun, so I will get to that series at some point. I'm very excited to read it. I very much want to be part of the fan base. I feel like that's such a big thing with Sarah J Maas books, is half of it is the books and how incredible they are, but also like getting to be in the know and understanding like the memes when they pop up and the jokes and the heartbreak, and like getting to just kind of be a part of the fan club is so much fun. It is on my list. I will get there. I'm so sorry to all of my diehard Throne of Glass fans and friends, because I know that you're crying a little bit right now, but like I promise, like when I do hit it, I will hit it hard. Don't you worry. Okay, and as if that wasn't a hefty enough summer TBR, another life update. Last week or 2 weeks ago, one of the two, can't remember, I got accepted as a Simon teen influencer. You guys, this is such a huge deal to me. I have been applying for at least a year and a half and literally had never heard back, like did not make it. I've been devastated. Simon & Schuster is one of my favorite publishers. Simon Teen, I feel like, has been the publisher behind so many of my favorite YA books, including Powerless, which I don't think you can see it from this angle if you're watching on the YouTube video, but my whole top shelf of my bookshelf is literally a Powerless shrine because I'm a Powerless diehard fan, you guys, okay? And I just feel like I've wanted to be a part of kind of that group and that team for so long. So when I finally got this email, it felt so amazing to know. I feel like they are one of the most active influencer programs to be a part of, because I've been a part of a couple other ones and they don't usually end with you always getting a book or even being contacted. So I was really, really excited when not only was I accepted, but they had just sent out a catalog of book requests a couple days later. It was such a nice feeling, and I honestly think this is such a good message to anyone out there who's trying to pursue something, whether it be Bookstagram or something else. Like sometimes it really does just take the time. My growth on Bookstagram, I'm very proud of it. I love my page. I love everything I've posted, everything I've made, but like it takes work to get as far as I have, and I'm not even that far. I'm almost to 2,000 followers. I'm about 150 to 200 followers shy of that, and I have been working for this for a long time. So just to kind of feel that pay off and finally be accepted into the program was incredible. Obviously, I signed up for a boatload of ARCs. Here are some of them. For starters, I'm currently reading By Invitation Only by Alexandra Brown Chang. I'm about 5 chapters in. I started it last night. Basically, the plot of this is there's this like really big debutante ball in Paris, and this girl who's not from like a rich family or anything, like she doesn't really have a super prestigious background, which is usually required of those selected by invitation only, is it all coming together right now, to be invited to this debutante ball. But she's really good at science, and the college that she was supposed to go to, the funding for her scholarship was pooled, so she wouldn't have been able to attend. And when they selected her to go to this thing in Paris, she's going because they offered to pay for her first year at the college, which is really important to her. So she said, okay, fine, I will go. But so far, everybody else at the function is either like some kind of royalty, or their parents are like super, super rich, really big names. And she's kind of just over here like, hey, like, I'm good at science. Like, that's kind of her thing right now. So really excited to see how that goes. I'm hoping there's like a little romance subplot introduced sometime soon. Like, I don't know what this says about me, guys. I cannot read books without a romance subplot. Like, honestly, even if there isn't one, like, I will find one. I will make one. Like, I will be shipping 2 characters together. I don't care if it's like just like the most subtle, like, I made eye contact with this man for 2 whole seconds. I'll be like, boom, sold. Like, sometimes that's all you need, especially in a series when you get like that slow burn. Yes, I will take it. But I just need like a little something, okay? Just a little something to keep working towards. So I'm really excited. I hope that develops. I think it will. I have faith. So I will keep y'all updated on By Invitation Only. If you want to hear more, go follow me on Instagram. I post so much more there. It's at Landry_reads, and I will keep everybody updated because I know you guys are all just dying to hear me talk even more. I'm just kidding. Okay, but some of the other arcs that I've been accepted for, I'm just going to read kind of the titles to you, and then I'll go through and like tell you what I think of them later. But that way, if you've heard of any, you can like let me know what you're thinking. The arcs are Beth is Dead, A Match Made in Hell, Soul Match, Heart Check, Steel and Spellfire, The Rebel and the Rose, Fake Skating, Falling Like Leaves, The Prince of Morning, and A Heart for Christmas. Obviously, Falling Like Leaves and A Heart for Christmas, I'm going to hold off to read until like fall and Christmas time because, you know, I want to be like in the right environment for that. And then Fake Skating's by Lynn Painter, and this is actually kind of a hot take. So I read Better Than the Movies, and it was like a 3.5 star for me. It wasn't my favorite. If you love it, I love that for you. Like, genuinely, I'm so happy. But for me, it was just not it. And I'm a little nervous to start Fake Skating, but I'm a total hockey romance girly. And honestly, I just want to give Lynn Painter books like another chance. And I've been wanting to get a little bit more into like YA romance rather than just your typical like contemporary romance, because I have a lot of people who want those kinds of recommendations and I want people to tell them like, hey, here are some books I've actually read that I think you'll like. So I'm going in with like good vibes, not necessarily like high expectations, because I don't want to, you know, I feel like if you go into a book really expecting something to like amaze you, like you often leave feeling disappointed. But I'm kind of just going in there with like the vibes of making this book what it is and just enjoying the ride. And then I've heard of The Rebel and the Rose. I don't know too much about it. I like the cover though. I will put a picture of it on the screen if you are watching on YouTube. So I'm excited to kind of dive into that one. I have a friend who's really interested in it. And then Beth is Dead. It's supposed to be like a Little Women mystery retelling. I'm not very familiar with Little Women. I'm sorry if I'm disappointing all of my diehard classic friends out there. But I was just like, hey, like I feel like this is a good opportunity to kind of push yourself outside of your comfort zone. You really like mystery books, it should be interesting. So I thought I might as well request the arc, see if I get approved. Maybe I'll read it, maybe I'll love it, like who knows. And I really like to have like a little bit of an open mind. So those are all the arcs that I've currently been approved for Simon Teen. They haven't sent me anything yet, and I'm like, I would really love if that happened. So stay tuned, guys, because if that does happen, that would be super cool. Actually, while we're talking about being sent stuff, I got my first, like, they reached out to me asking to send me a book. It was Epic Reads. They sent me Fateless by Julie Kagawa. Haven't read it yet. Really excited though. I felt like so honored and flattered that they even like wanted to send me a book, and they had emailed and were like, hey, would you be interested? And I said, of course, I would love that. So really excited to read that one, and I will keep you guys all updated on that. Now, as I mentioned with this whole summer TBR thing, such a big reason that it is as hefty as it is because it's summer. Like, I have so much more time on my hands, and that works out perfectly because I'm also trying to expand my interests into not only books, but movies and TV shows, specifically based on books, okay? And I've never been like a huge movie person. I like myself a good TV show, but I haven't like watched one for a long time. So we're gonna talk about some book to movie / show adaptations that I'm excited about, that are upcoming or I've already watched. And to kick this off, we're going to talk about My Fault London. Wow. Oh my goodness. I think the movie came out in February. When I tell you, I think I've watched it at least 10 times. I watched it for the first time in like early April, middle of April, and I think I've watched it 10 times since. I'm obsessed with it. I've also watched Colpa Mia and Colpa Tuya. I hate saying it. I feel like I can never say it right, but I watched both of them. Those are the Spanish and kind of like original movie versions. They are based on the books, which were also originally written in Spanish, I believe. So basically, I know this is confusing. Let me lay it out for you. Books, Colpa Mia series, written in Spanish, got its own little movie trilogy. Okay, Colpa Mia, Colpa Tuya, and then Colpa Nuestra is supposed to come out this fall. Again, apologies for butchering my Spanish. I'm doing the best I can here, people. I'm so sorry. But then they made like a kind of remake of the movie that was remaking the book, and they called that one My Fault London, and that one takes place in, you guessed it, London. I love it. Oh my god, I love it so much. If you are a book girly, like, it is total book girly material. I normally like, okay, because I've also watched the My Lady Jane and the Maxton Hall adaptations. We're gonna talk about Maxton Hall a little later, actually, but I really liked them. And when I watched My Fault London, I was like, okay, like, I like it, but then I just kept thinking about it, like, over and over, and it, like, got in my head, okay? And now I have just watched it so many times and I'm addicted, and I have a friend, I made her watch it with me, and it's literally like all we talk about now. Like, I'm pretty sure like at this point the foundation of our friendship is My Fault London. It's so hilarious and so insane. If you guys have any recommendations that give My Fault London vibes at all, let me know, because oh my gosh, I want a movie that makes me feel like that again. Ugh. And then next up, and I'm sure this is one of the first things that came to your mind when I said book to movie / show adaptations, was The Summer I Turned Pretty. I can't remember if I talked about this in my last episode, my little Fearless review. I'm not a The Summer I Turned Pretty fan, and I feel like horrible saying that simply because I feel so like out of the loop, you know, like everyone's obsessed and I'm like, not me, sorry. Okay, all of my friends were watching it, so I watched the first season. I was like, And then I think I watched 2 episodes of the second season. After that, guys, I was just so bored. I don't know why. Like, I don't understand, like, why other people are so in love with it and I'm, like, not, because I feel like if that many people like it, like, clearly it's not that boring. I don't know what to tell you. I'm doing, like, I don't know, but just for me, it was a miss, which is sad, and I feel, like, left out of the hype. But honestly, I don't love Conrad. I don't love Jeremiah. I am team Conrad. I will put that out there. She should end up with Conrad. Okay, I stand by that. But at the end of the day, I think part of it too is Belly just kind of annoys me, and that made it really difficult because it's hard to watch a show when you're kind of like do not like the main character. I just feel like she made some poor decisions, and I feel like the fact that she treats both of the brothers the way that she does bothers me, but then the fact that the brothers let not only themselves but then their brother be treated the way that she's been treating them, I just feel like you guys are all a mess. Everything is a mess. It's not good, guys, but that's fine. I know season 3 is going to be so drama filled, and I'm someone who, like, I don't think I'm going to watch it, but, like, I want to hear all of my friends talk about it. I want to hear their rants. I want to hear what happens. Like, I want to be in the know, but, like, not enough to, like, watch the series. Okay, next up I have the Percy Jackson series. And, okay, I was not an OG Percy Jackson little kid reader. Like, I did not read it when I was younger. I read the first 2 books. I read them last year because when the first season came out, I wanted to be able to watch the show and have, like, a decent understanding. Guys, I love the Percy Jackson show. I don't know if that's a hot take because I have a friend who was like an OG Percy Jackson kid. She does not love this show that much. I'm obsessed with it. I think it's amazing. I think the casting is gorgeous, perfection, beautiful, and I'm really, really excited. I think the second season comes out in December, which I'm kind of mad about because they've started like hitting it hard with promotion, I feel like. So I totally thought it was coming out in like August, but no, it comes out in December, so I have to wait 6 whole more months. So yeah, catch me crying myself to sleep at night, but I'm sure it'll be fine. But I'm really excited. Like I said, I've read the second book, so I should be ready for the second season. I should go ahead and read third book, just so that way I can be a little bit ahead and a little bit prepared for anything they try to like sneak in there. Next, okay, so this one's turning into a movie, but The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I'm really excited about that. It has the girl from My Lady Jane, and then it has President Snow. Tom Blythe? I think it's Tom Blythe. Why can't I think of the girl's name? I feel so horrible right now, but I'm not gonna look it up. But I'm really excited to see both of them in the show. Like I said, I watched My Lady Jane. I was a really big fan. I loved the way that she acted in it, so I have high hopes for The People We Meet on Vacation. And then I'm not very familiar with Tom Blythe. I'm not a Hunger Games kid either. I feel like I'm disappointing a lot of people in this podcast episode between my Little Women and my Throne of Glass news that I have broken. So yeah, sorry. Let's just throw Hunger Games in the mix at that point. I haven't read those yet. Don't plan on doing it anytime soon. Apologies. Anyway, really excited for both of them. I need to read that book, though, before the movie comes out. I'm not exactly sure when it's set to come out, but I think I still have a little bit of time. But I'm really excited. I know people have seen them, like, filming it out in, like, the wild. So, I don't know. I'm just excited to see it all come together. So I definitely need to read that book before that movie comes out. And I think this is the book adaptation I'm just, like, most excited about at this moment, because it seems just like the closest, but also one of my favorite series of all time is the Off-Campus series is being turned into a TV show. For those of you that are unfamiliar, the Off-Campus series is a series of books by Elle Kennedy. It includes The Deal, The Mistake, The Score, and The Goal, all hockey romances. I am obsessed with them. One of my favorite books of all time is The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy, which is a spin-off of that series. It's a whole complicated mess that we are not going to get into right now, but probably in another episode, because like I said, huge fan of this series. They have been casted. So guys, like, it's actually gonna happen. They're gonna start going into production soon. I'm so excited for that series to come out. I can't wait. I don't know how they're gonna like play everything out, but I'm obsessed with that series because it is so layered. Like, yes, it is a romance, but I feel like there's always so many subplots and other things going on that there really is something for everyone. And I love the way that Elle Kennedy goes about tackling some serious topics while also keeping them kind of light, and you can still really enjoy the book, but at the same time I feel like you're walking away with something that kind of hits you in the heart a little bit. So anyways, they've casted it. I'm so excited. I'm a little nervous. I feel like everyone is whenever like any kind of book gets turned into any kind of on-screen production. I have faith, and like a lot of the producers and the casting and the author seems excited. Obviously, if they're all in the know, like, I trust them to do it justice, but I guess we will just have to see. I think it's really interesting with this one because they have to actually be able to skate, and that was one of the requirements. So already I feel like that takes your casting pool and like narrows it down quite a bit, because now you have to be good at your job and you have to be able to skate while doing it. So that's definitely fun. I think something that was really interesting is the guy that everyone wanted to play Xaden. I'm gonna look it up right now. Or not necessarily the guy that everyone wanted to play him, but that was rumored to be playing him, is actually casted in this show. His name is Josh Houston? I don't know, there's an extra vowel that is confusing me. But a lot of people thought he was playing Xaden for a while, and now he's cast in this show. So I don't know what that means. I don't know how I feel about him playing Xaden. I don't really have an opinion on that. I feel like Fourth Wing is one of those things where, like, very excited about that TV adaptation, obviously, but it still seems to be moving, like, at a fairly slow, constant pace. So I'm not, like, on the edge of my seat, like, waiting for news, because they seem to be kind of taking their time over there, which honestly, like, please do. Like, if it's a good adaptation, you guys can have all the time you'd like. I mean, I'd like to see it before I leave this earth, but, like, I trust y'all to do what you gotta do and do a good job. So very excited about that. But I just thought that was interesting that, like, everyone was like, oh, is he Xaden? And, like, here he is as Justin in the Off-Campus series, which are two, like, starkly different roles. So that's really interesting. Okay, and then almost last, we have the Powerless trilogy. As mentioned, I am a Powerless superfan. I'm obsessed with it. I love Lauren Roberts. I love all of her work, and I'm so excited. But that's going to be in a TV show, which I'm so excited about, because I feel like it definitely gives, like, movie vibes, but, like, I love TV series more than I love movies. I also feel like you get so much more content in a TV series than you do in just a couple movies. So they have been assigned a creator and showrunner, Daphne Ferrero, who also worked on Maxton Hall, which is our next series that we're going to talk about real quick. I'm really excited to see how that goes. Obviously, she has experience with book to movie adaptations, so I think she knows what she's doing. Like, I'm excited. But again, one of my favorite book series. I can't wait to see what they do with it. I mean, Kai, Azur, and Peyton, like, getting to see some of those scenes, like, on a screen, I'm freaking out. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so good. Like, I'm just so excited, and I can't wait to have, like, little watch parties with all the friends and have them come over and watch all these, like, adaptations and whatnot. It's gonna be so wonderful. And then finally, we have Maxton Hall. I watched the first season. I liked it. I actually learned, and this kind of goes back to me watching Kobo Mia, when they're in another language, I prefer watching them in the other language with the subtitles, which I didn't actually do for Maxton Hall. For Maxton Hall, I watched the dubbed over version, but I think I might need to go back and do a rewatch in the original, I think it's like German version with the English subtitles. Unfortunately, the books those were based on were also written in German, so, like, I don't speak German, so I cannot read them. However, I do think they're coming out with an English translation, so maybe I will read those when they are made available. But the season 2 of that, I believe, is also supposed to come out later this year, perhaps also in December, so, like, Percy Jackson, Maxton Hall season 2, like, joint month. Yes, such different shows. That's actually so funny, but both of them are incredible. So very excited to, bring the girlies over and do a little Bookish series binge watch night. So wow, I was really struggling to get those words out for a second. But yeah, so really excited about that. And that actually kind of finishes up our book to movie, like, show adaptation little talk. If there are any coming up that you guys are excited about, or you guys have on your radar and would like me to, like, read or watch or hear about, again, if you have any recommendations that are like My Fault London, or there's a TV adaptation that you didn't hear me say and you're like, no girl, like, that would be up your alley, like, please share, because I would love to hear about it. So yeah, without further ado, I feel like, wow, I have not taken a single break while talking this whole time. I have been sitting here for basically 40 minutes and just straight up, like, yapping it up, jabbering. I'm definitely afraid that I'm not going to have enough iCloud storage to hold on to this video, which would be very, very unfortunate, but we're doing our best. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining me and listening to me talk about everything that is going on. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait for us to see what is next and what our next podcast episode might be. Again, I'm crossing my fingers for a guest. I don't know production-wise exactly how we're gonna do that just yet, but I have high hopes for us. So make sure you stick around so you can stay updated. As I said in my last episode, there is no outro for this podcast. I like to wing things, which is obviously a horrible idea, seeing as how I've done it twice in a row and haven't been any better at it. But as always, if you would like a little bit more bookish content, perhaps on the daily even, you should definitely go check me out on Instagram at Landry_reads. I'm a lot more fun over there simply because I'm posting all the time. And if you are listening to this on a podcasting site, I would love if you could rate the show and just follow the show, however it works. I don't know, but I appreciate any kind of support you are willing to give. And if you're watching on YouTube, you should definitely subscribe and you should comment a book you were excited to read this summer because I would love some recs. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. So yes, that is everything. I feel like I'm like forgetting something, but I'm not. And honestly, I think I just need to go. Once again, one last look at my beautiful water cup. I'm so proud of it. Hold on, the camera's mirrored, so it's like I keep turning the cup the wrong way for you guys to see it. Love you all so much. Bye, lovelies!